The following recording is a production of Kickin' Out at 2 in conjunction with the Retromania Pro Wrestling Podcast Network and is intended for private use only. For more information, head on over to facebook.com/Kickin' Out at 2 or our Twitter handle @Kickin' Out 2, along with searching Retromania with a W on any and all podcast platforms available to listen to archive shows such as this and all the great content of the Retromania Pro Wrestling Podcast Network. Evergreen content at your fingertips anytime at your listening pleasure. And with that being said, we thank you for listening and hope you enjoy the show. One more nostalgic trip down memory lane here on this episode of Kickin' Out at 2. I'm your host, Dave Rosenbluth, and joining me, as always, my dear, close personal, longtime friend himself, Dennis J. Levy. What's up, dude?
I'm chilling. I'm excited for this. Always been a big fan of the Cactus Jack. And I'm very excited.
Yes, and what Dennis is alluding to is the watch-along that we are going to be participating in today. It's Cactus Jack, Triple H, street fight for the WWF Championship from Royal Rumble 2000. It's one of my personal favorite matches of both, as well as just in general. I think this is an excellent match, excellent story told during a hot period in wrestling. 2000, this was when WWF was just... you couldn't touch them, kind of like what they are now. Right now, they're kind of lapping the competition.
This match actually has a lot of similarities to it, in my opinion. This is kind of like the goodbye road for Mick Foley. We're gonna say a goodbye road for Cena Bomber. There's a lot of similarities. Absolutely,
Cena Bomber.
This is Cena's goodbye.
Oh, okay. This year it's his farewell, so this was kind of Mick's farewell. Yeah, okay. I mean, it wasn't really announced in so many words, but. We kind of had a feeling that, Mick was towards the end of his run. We're going to watch this on Peacock, so what I'll have all you guys do is grab your cock and search Royal Rumble Season 13, Episode 1, Royal Rumble 2000. And I'm going to have you fast forward all the way to 1 hour, 2 minutes, and 47 seconds. And... once you get done with doing all that, we will participate in this watch-along. We'll talk about a little bit of Royal Rumble. We'll talk about this rivalry. We'll talk about the upcoming Royal Rumble, some historic moments in Royal Rumble history, and we're just going to have ourselves a good old time now, aren't we, Dennis?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, so while you guys are doing all that, for those of you that are already queued up, and for those of you that need a reminder, head on over to Retromania on Podbean. You're searching Retromania with a W. You'll find this episode as well as all the great content that Kickin' Out at 2 provides, along with other shows part of the Retromania Pro Wrestling Podcast Network, like Marking Out the Days, Gaijin Wrestling Radio, Origins Mania is Dead, Cool Truth with AC, so much other great nostalgic wrestling content at your fingertips. Evergreen podcasts that you can check out anytime at any place, and it holds up to this day. So head on over there, Retromania with a W, or on any other podcast platform available. Spreaker, Stitcher, Spotify, Google Play, Apple Podcasts, you name it. Go find it. It's there. Search under Retromania. All right. Cheap plug out of the way as usual, because I have to do that, because that's the kind of fellow I am. So fast forward to 1 hour, 2 minutes, 47 seconds, and pause it, and you'll see the graphic for the Cactus Jack Triple H street fight for the WWF Championship with Stephanie McMahon, Cactus Jack, and Triple H holding the championship. And when I say play, we're going to press play, and away we go. How about it, Dennis?
Let's do it.
All right, so in 3, 2, 1, hit play. Oh, I got the audio on. I'm going to turn the audio off. All right, so there you go. It's playing right now. And we're going to get to a video package highlighting this rivalry here. Let's talk about championship matches in Royal Rumble history.
Yep.
Non-Royal Rumble matches. There's been some good ones.
Yep.
This obviously is definitely at the top of the list. Name me some other championship matches that you fondly recall in Royal Rumble history that you enjoyed watching.
One of the best hidden gems you could watch, in my opinion, is Razor Ramon versus Bret Hart.
Oh my God!
So lost in the shuffle.
Oh my God!
Great
dude.
match.
That's a deep cut right there. I love that match.
I love that match. Love that match.
I love that match for a number of reasons. One, that was the first Royal Rumble that I was allowed to order as a kid, and that Royal Rumble actually took place at like 1 o'clock in the afternoon. It was on a Sunday in the afternoon. Yeah, because they were in California. They were live in Sacramento, California, so it was an afternoon show. So it was like, actually, no, was it 4 o'clock? Yeah, it was 4 o'clock our time.
But still, yeah.
1 o'clock California time. But yeah, I love that match. I thought, I was disappointed that after that match, we didn't get more Razor Ramon in the WWF title picture.
Yeah.
Because I thought he did such a great job with Bret Hart. I just pictured Razor Ramon that, like, granted, he was a great Intercontinental Champion, but I just didn't. I thought there was more. There was more of a ceiling for him in the WWF, and I thought he proved that in that match with Bret Hart.
I totally agree. That I always thought when it came to Scott Hall, Kevin Nash maybe saved that motherfucker's life because of all his abuse with like drugs and alcohol.
Yep.
But if he stayed in the WWF, that if he just became Razor Ramon would have been champion. When
If he got his act together?
Yeah. When he went to WCW, he was always second fiddle to either Hogan or Nash, and I kind of hate to say this, but I always thought Nash purposely did like politics. So after when Hogan's NWO run was like done, and then it was just like them two. Like he purposely made like I'm the varsity and you're JV.
Oh, get the fuck out of here!
I really do believe that.
Get the fuck out of here!
I absolutely believe that.
Oh my god, here we go again with your bullshit.
Oh, Kevin Nash. He had world championships and all the other stuff. Name me a Scott Hall world championship in WCW.
You said it earlier. His fucking his issues with drugs and alcohol. They fucking sent him to rehab like 8 times in WCW.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
All right.
You think they want their guys, some alcoholic and drug addict, as their world champion?
That's a good point. I'm just saying, I truly always believed that the Razor Ramon character was destined to be a world champion.
I agree, 100%. And I thought it was going to happen. I thought it was going to happen during that run, and I thought that match with Bret proved it. All right, moving on. Find me another championship match in Rumble history that you fondly enjoy.
Of course, the most famous one, in my opinion, is Rock versus CM Punk. That was a bad.
It
wasn't the bar burner that I wanted it to be.
No,
but I think it's the most famous one, and of course that led to Rock and Cena Bomber. Oh, no, it's kind of like my favorite because I hate Ultimate Warrior so much. Slaughter,
Slaughter and Warrior.
The Warrior. When Warrior finally dropped the title, I was a happy camper.
91. Yep, that was the first time that the WWF Championship was on the line in a championship match at a Royal Rumble event. When Macho King came out with the scepter and he nailed Warrior.
That was so awesome.
Match was not that great, but I think the drama behind Warrior and Savage's issues, with Slaughter being the Iraqi sympathizer as like a hated heel, I think made for an electric atmosphere in that match. I've seen that match before, and that crowd was going crazy for Warrior. Like he was, like his pops were like, his pop for that match like rivaled Hogan's reaction. Like probably because he was defending America against this Iraqi sympathizer. Any others come to mind?
Those are kind of the big ones for me. That I can't really think of like a Mr. Perfect IC match or like, I don't know. Yeah, those are like the big ones for me.
I love this match here. Brett and Razor's great. One that's probably got a soft spot for me was a year prior to this match that we're watching. Mankind Rock I Quit match when Rock nails him in the head with the chair like 13 times.
I'm a dumbass. That's the most famous. That's the most famous one. I'm being a dumbass. I'll go at least for like true wrestling fans.
Yeah.
That's the most famous one. That's the best one too.
Yeah. I mean, the violence factor in that match, I mean, it gets ramped up in this match as we're going to watch it.
What the fuck was Mick Foley thinking, bring his kids, his wife to that? Like that's the dumbest decision ever. Yeah, that's going to be appropriate for my children to watch his dad get like 25 chair shots.
Well, I mean, you let's talk about his resume and of physical of his matches over the years and the headshots he had taken.
Yeah.
I mean, he wasn't thinking, sound mind by any stretch of the imagination. I mean, and I think
his wife must have been so pissed.
If you watch the Beyond the Mat documentary, I think she was more worried about him than she was upset, like angry with him because of the physical.
Well, I would say that afterwards, you're watching him barely make it to back probably, but in the moment, she must have covered her kid. I don't know.
They showed clips. If you watch that movie on Beyond the Mat, you see the clip. You see the clips of like her like holding both kids are crying.
Yeah.
And she's just like, "Oh no, Mick, no!" Like she's all like she's kind of like in a way like the kids are crying, and you could hear her say like, "Oh no, Mick!" And when she says that, it feels like to me, it's like, Mick, what are you doing? Like you didn't have to go this far.
Yeah.
And mind you, that was 7 or 8 months following the infamous Hell in the Cell when Undertaker threw him off the top. So following that match, he had to, in his mind, and probably in a lot of fans' minds, he had to live up to that reputation of doing this crazy shit. And those 13 chair shots in that match were probably more violent than the shit he did in that Hell in the Cell match with Undertaker.
You can argue that's correct. You can absolutely argue that's
because
correct.
Because at the time, there was no CTE.
Yeah.
Like that's a no-go now. You will never see that again. I mean,
I think that Nia Jax, that Naomi, that was such a botch because she looked like it was like they're about to hit her in the head, and like Naomi and Nia Jax like absolutely not, and like kind of did like hit her like on the side. People shit on Nia Jax for it, but she would have got fired.
Yeah,
and we saw a woman that get hit with a chair in the head that on a pay-per-view that Nia Jax was fired.
I remember watching a clip recently of Undertaker on his podcast. They talked about some of his WrestleMania matches, and one of them was against Triple H, the one in 2011 in Atlanta, and I was at that show. And Hunter and Undertaker delivered headshots with chairs, like one apiece. And Vince fined them both. Took money out of their big WrestleMania paydays and fined them like $10,000 a piece.
Wow, good for Vince.
for doing headshots. I mean, we're not in a world anymore wrestling wise where it's that sort of stuff is welcomed. I'm gonna die on the hill that the Mick Foley chair shots that he took from The Rock at that Royal Rumble in 1999 was far more violent than the stuff he did in Hell in the Cell.
Far more, dude. The
all right, yeah, okay, yeah, you're right. I'm pulling a Dennis J. Levy, living in the moment with my statement here, but I'm going to argue that could be more violent than the stuff that he did in Hell in the Cell.
The magic the magic trick that is wrestling.
Yeah.
Hell in the Cell is way worse, but in reality of like getting hit in the head with a chair that many times, absolutely, that did more damage to his body. I think you're right about that. I'll die on that hill with you.
The head stuff.
Absolutely, I'll die on that hill with you.
Because if you think about it, all the physical stuff he did to his knees, his back, even his neck, his shoulders, like that stuff had been going on for years. Those crazy bumps he took, like that was a normal thing. Yeah. I'm not a bloodthirsty fan saying that he wasn't hurt by it, because he certainly was. But I think personally that the head trauma that he sustained in that match was the catalyst for the issues that he is currently or could potentially endure later in life when it comes to his memory.
I bet you seriously.
He's even admitted
he drives home and he's like, if he doesn't have his GPS on, he's like, where the fuck am I? I guarantee it.
Yeah, I know he's publicly admitted that he's had some memory issues, but I mean, we're in an age where that sort of stuff can be treated. A lot of athletes, professional athletes, I mean, it's expensive, but they go through those hyperbaric chamber treatments, like Joe Namath, when he had a dear friend who was a former NFL player, I forget who it was. The guy committed suicide, and they realized he had CTE, and Joe Namath took it upon himself to go through these hyperbaric chamber treatments, and he did I saw the interview on Howard Stern, and he did 120 dives, as they call them. It's it's almost kind of like scuba diving.
Yeah.
And after those 120 dives, his mental capacity and his brain activity was the equivalent of, after the treatment, was the equivalent of a 35-year-old male, a healthy 35-year-old male. And he's in his 70s. At the time, this was on the Howard Stern show. I remember watching that interview. So that sort of stuff is available for professional athletes. I'm not saying it's a cure or even a quick fix, but you hear of a lot of these athletes, retired athletes, that are able to afford it, because it's not cheap. It's not like your insurance covers it. It's not some $50 copay from your Blue Cross Anthem insurance. It's expensive. But I mean, I think Foley he's openly talked about his issues with his memory, playing a part in his everyday life. And I think he's even said that he has been treating it from a medical standpoint over the years. So hopefully, hopefully it doesn't turn serious. The Rock Mankind match is another great title match. One that really sticks out to me from a wrestling standpoint, bell to bell. And I know I'm going to get some hate from this. I might even get some backlash from you. But 2003, Kurt Angle, Chris Benoit for the WWE Championship at the Royal Rumble in Boston. Yeah, it was a technical wrestling match. That, in my opinion, that's on Kurt Angle's Mount Rushmore of wrestling matches. I put that up there with the match with Shawn Michaels he had at WrestleMania that a couple of years later. That match with him and Benoit is just it was a wrestling clinic.
It runs my gears the wrong way when people can associate sports greatness and the douchebag person. Like we celebrate Pete Rose being the hit leader.
Yeah,
but yeah,
you can like his work, but you don't have to like the individual that he is.
O.J. Simpson. He got 2,000 yards rushing. I'm not saying like we should throw a parade for these motherfuckers.
Exactly.
I'm just saying though that we should recognize that
Hogan's in that category too. You can love his work, you can love what he did as a performer, but you don't have to like the individual. Number one, because you probably don't know the fucking individual. I met Hulk Hogan last year, and it was the first time I ever met him. I had fucking 2 minutes with him. Nice as could be to me. Yeah. But doesn't mean I know the guy. Yeah. But I can appreciate what he contributed, and he made my childhood fun when I watched him on television. So people, whatever, personal beliefs you have, they take that and they run with it and intertwine it and mix it on a professional level. Like, oh yeah, he sucked, and oh yeah, his matches were this, and oh yeah, his promo. Like, all right, if you weren't a fan, you weren't a fan. But if you're not a fan of him because of what he's done personally, that shouldn't override. That shouldn't muddy his professional work. Yeah. But that's another discussion for another day. But yeah, Royal Rumble's had some pretty good championship matches over the years. Another great match that comes to mind in Royal Rumble history for the championship. 2007, John Cena, Umaga in a last man standing match for the WWE Championship.
I actually like that match.
That's a really good match.
I wish they pulled the trigger on Umaga getting the champion just once. Give it to him for 2 months.
Transitional run?
Exactly.
Yeah?
Give him the championship. I wanted that more than anything. I really did.
Looking back on it now, I probably wouldn't have been against it. I wouldn't have. I would have dug it.
He was such a unique monster heel too. You always see these giant monster heels. Was he even 6 foot?
I don't know. I think he was. I
just loved his look. I just loved
his look, his work.
Yeah.
He was one of those guys that I don't know what it was, but I had for a long time, especially after the stuff he did with Cena, I had a fascination of seeing him paired up with Undertaker. I thought, how Undertaker had always slayed the beasts and the big men. He had some duds over the years, but I think Undertaker and Umaga could have made a lot of money. Especially 2007, when Undertaker kind of had, his work, his in-ring work had kind of, I wouldn't say he found a renewed passion, but, he really elevated his game. His matches with Batista were, fucking unbelievable. And I thought, man, a guy like Umaga, the type of style he works, and a guy like Undertaker, they would just mesh really well. And I was kind of hoping we would see that, and unfortunately, we didn't with Umaga. But this year's Royal Rumble is interesting because there's a major championship match set to take place with Cody Rhodes defending the WWE Championship in a ladder match against Kevin Owens.
With Kevin Owens so bad.
With Kevin Owens holding the Winged Eagle Championship as he's in possession of that following that Saturday night's main event back in December.
It's a million to one, but that I would love to see Kevin get. I just want to see Kevin get it one more time. I'm worried that he's going to be a one and done guy. I really am. I'm starting to worry about it.
I mean, I could understand that theory. I can understand those feelings just because of the landscape now and how they're really trying to preserve the championships and give the championships long title reigns instead of hot-shotting a title for like 2 months or 30 days or whatever. Like this era of WWF, WWE, we would see, quick back and forth title reigns. This was Hunter's second championship reign with the title, and he won it in September of '99 and dropped it to Vince, only to get it back in. Actually, was it his second or this is his third? This is his third championship reign because he had just beaten Big Show a few weeks prior on Monday Night Raw.
That's right, I remember.
So this was his third championship reign in like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 month span. So nowadays they're trying to preserve the championship runs, hence the long reign that Roman Reigns had with the title. So, I mean, Kevin Owens, even if he won it like in an upset or like in like a hot shot and then dropped it back, like I was here's my what I would have liked to have seen at Saturday night's main event. I would have liked to have seen Kevin Owens pick up the win over Cody, take that Winged Eagle belt, and then they set it with some sort of controversial finish behind it, and then that sets up the rematch with him and Cody at the Royal Rumble for the title.
Yeah.
And then Cody could get it back. That's what I would have liked to have seen. I'm not against Cody's run because I think he's done a tremendous job with the title, but
I think it's almost time though for him to drop it. That's getting that time.
Here's my take on that, okay? He's doing great work.
He doesn't need it, though. Doesn't need it.
I wouldn't say he doesn't need it, but, I mean, people thought that, some people think his run's been boring. I don't think it has been, okay? I personally don't. But I will say that when it comes to his run as the champion now, he's selling merch. He's a huge draw. He checks off every box
You're right
between
about that.
Women, kids, young adults. Like, if he's the hot hand, go with it, Yeah. Roman's a part-time attraction, and Roman is a great draw, but Roman's not going to be on TV every week, and you need somebody to carry the title that's going to be just as hot, if not even bigger than Roman Reigns.
That is very well said,
and
Dave.
Cody's that guy.
That is.
Why do you think they didn't? Why do you think Cena held the belt on for as long as he did?
Yeah.
Because they didn't have somebody that was as big of a draw as him.
Yeah.
You can argue that Batista was a big name, or Randy Orton, or hell, you could even go as far as say CM Punk at that time. But they weren't doing numbers like Cena was.
No.
Cody's doing Roman numbers. Okay? That's why I think he keeps the title. And they have him hold the title for as long as they do.
It's hard to argue. It really is. But I would like to see him like you say, he's getting boring and whatnot. I don't know. I could watch Cody wrestle all day, every day.
Yeah.
But I want him to see him not have the title. I want him to have I want whoever it'll be. I want to see Cody versus Dustin Rhodes again. That type of match. It's a feud.
It's not centered around the belt.
It's not around the belt. I think he needs that. I really do. I think
needs it, or you'd like to see it.
I think it's both.
Okay.
He needs that match where his most memorable match, in my opinion. No, what I was going to be. That's a hipster thing. I'm sorry. I was about to say his most memorable match was the Seth Rollins match when he tore his quad or whatever it is.
His pec.
Pec.
Yeah.
A little pec, right?
Yeah.
A little higher in the body.
Maybe you need to play Operation again. Know your body parts.
I'm kidding. This is serious, like biology. one of my worst. Oh my God, it's so bad in biology. But that being said, of course, his most memorable match is against fucking Roman Reigns at WrestleMania.
Which one? The one where he won the belt, or the one where he lost and came up short?
You're splitting hairs. I actually think the most memorable one is actually when he lost. Actually, looking back now,
I love that match.
It was a great match.
I love that match because I was sitting in this chair with my brother watching that match, and I was back and forth. I was just happy. Whoever won, I didn't care. But I thought, oh, man, Cody's got to win this. He's got to win this.
I thought it was his time.
I didn't think it was necessarily his time, but I thought that if they gave him the belt, it would have been suffice. He comes back from an injury, wins the Royal Rumble, but at the same time, I thought to myself, there's nothing wrong with him losing on the first try, and then the redemption story.
Yeah.
Somebody even brought it up like he's got to go through his own hard times like his father did to get to that mountaintop.
Looking back, though,
and then eventually that's what he did.
I just wish now, though, that I think it would have been a better story if Roman beat him clean instead of the Solo hit him with a spike.
No, I disagree.
Then we could have had like the Rocky story. That we could have had the third one. We don't need the third one.
They could still do the third one.
My book. I know we're talking about a predetermined fight or whatever.
Yep.
But in my eyes, Cody was the best man on both nights. So I don't need to see a third. See,
the first one, Roman cheated, right? So then Cody played the second one. Cody beat Roman in his own game and brought back up because he knew that the bloodline was going to.
You're right.
Okay, so now the third. Right. So now the third one has to be straight up between both of them.
No, that's fair.
Yeah. The third one, whether it's for a title or not.
Yeah.
But here's the interesting thing: I don't think we'll see it at WrestleMania this year. But if they did go Cody Roman again, and this would be the first time in WrestleMania history that two guys that they had a trilogy for the championship in the main event.
Yeah. I'm stupid.
They've done trilogies they did Rock and Austin, but they went every other year.
Yeah.
If they went 3 consecutive years with a WrestleMania main event, I don't think today's fan base wants that. I think they want to see something else. I think they want to see Rock and Roman.
I think
they want to see Cody and maybe Cena or Cody and Randy Orton. Yeah. That's another one that's been rumored. So we'll see what happens there. As this match is getting hot and heavy, Cactus and Triple H here. Let's just kind of scale back a little bit and provide some context. This match was set up after Triple H and Stephanie McMahon, who were in control of the World Wrestling Federation at the time.
Oh, I hate when he does that.
I know that. That's why his knees are all fucked up because of that. They had fired Mankind, Mick Foley, after Mankind had been the one to kind of stand up to them and on behalf of the locker room because of the tyrannical reign that the two of them had as, the bosses in charge of the company. It was revealed that, Stephanie McMahon and Triple H were an item after, she turned on her father, Vince. Triple H would win the title, and then they would become this huge power couple. And with DX kind of at Hunter's disposal, they were this super group, and they were just kind of taken over, and Mick Foley, Mankind, had enough and stood up to them, and unfortunately they fired him after he lost a match. It was a pink slip on a pole match, losing to The Rock. No, Vince Russo wasn't the one that booked it because he was in WCW by that point. And then came the resurgence of Cactus Jack. Now, at this time, I was not the biggest Mankind fan, okay? I was a Cactus Jack guy.
Yep.
So when I saw this, I was like, and the rumors were that Foley was going to be on his way out the door soon. I thought, what a way to go out as Cactus Jack. It's fitting. And New York City, street fight, Triple H. The last time they wrestled together in Madison Square Garden was in '97 when they had that infamous episode of Monday Night Raw where Cactus Jack, made his WWF debut, the Cactus Jack persona, and they wrestled in a street fight. I just thought, man, all the stars lined up for this match. This was the match that, in my opinion, made Hunter a superstar. He went from being WWF wrestler to WWF superstar. Like, he was a made guy in the main event. There was no turning back for him.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of to go to that. Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. The stuff he did with DX was great. Okay,
his matches with The Rock.
How about what happened first, this match or SummerSlam? Big Blue. That I think both both. I remember going, wow, these guys are fucking amazing.
The Big Blue cage at SummerSlam was before this.
I think that's I really think that's when I thought to myself, Hunter could be the number one guy after that match.
Really?
I really thought so. I know he lost, of course. Yep. But I just thought, just the way even China impressed me, like that. All three of them, I'm like, they're stars with a capital S.
Okay, I mean that's fair. That's your perspective.
Yeah.
You know, when it comes to this match, we also got to provide some context for the time period. This was 2 months removed from Steve Austin being gone off television because of his neck injury. He had neck surgery around this time. So he was gone for, about a year. Triple H really stepped up, and with Foley, Rock, eventually, we would see the tag team division really shoot up with Hardys, Dudleys, and Edge and Christian. The mid card, Kurt Angle. Let's here. Let's talk about the card before this match. Okay, opening match. Taz makes his WWF debut, defeating Kurt Angle, who was on a hot streak in his debut. The Dudley Boys and the Hardy Boys go to war in a tag team tables match, which kind of set the table, no pun intended, for those TLC matches. Then you had Chris Jericho, Chyna, and Hardcore Holly in a triple threat for the Intercontinental title match. Jericho was just starting to get his bearings as a performer in WWF.
Jericho went over, didn't he?
I guess he did.
Yeah.
New Age Outlaws and the Acolytes before this match for the tag team titles. The Outlaws were still a hot act. That whole crowd was still repeating every line.
Yeah.
I mean, this show, I'll go on record to say this is a top 5 Royal Rumble event overall. Bell to bell card.
Oh, absolutely.
And then the Royal Rumble match itself when The Rock wins. This show here is one of those that it lasts. It stands the test of time.
You know what sucks? You can't say this is the greatest. I was gonna almost say this is the greatest Royal Rumble of all time.
Pay-per-view?
For Royal Rumble pay-per-view. Yeah.
So what's your greatest Royal Rumble of all time?
Gotta go 92.
The whole show? I'm talking about the whole show.
Yeah, the Royal Rumble is so good that I'll put 92. That Royal Rumble was so fucking good that I can remember what Big Boss Man, Akeem, or whatever. Wasn't that one of the matches? I don't know.
No.
But I'm just saying,
92 Royal Rumble saw, I think it was Roddy Piper and the Mountie for the Intercontinental title. You had Legion of Doom and the Natural Disasters. The Rumble match was heavy on talent because it was for the championship, the vacated title. So you had all the big names in that Rumble match.
I'm just saying, no, you can't put this this Rumble in as the best because it's the finish. The Royal Rumble match. The Big Show won.
When
Big Show won that fucking match.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, he won the match.
But it was designed and destined to set up. Oh damn! Look at that chair shot right there to the back.
That's what I hate when you get the handcuffs on Mick. He's going to take
look at that
chair shots.
Yeah, but it was on the back. I mean, I'm sure he'll take a couple of headshots at some point. No, I mean this show. Ooh man, I'm trying to think what other Rumble events start to finish are probably up there with this.
How about the one you went to? That was a fucking fantastic show.
In 23?
Yeah, that was a fantastic show.
Yeah, it was a fun show, man. I mean, my wife and I had a good time at that Rumble.
That was Owens. So that was Owens. What?
Owens and Reigns when Sami Zayn turned on the Bloodline.
That's another one. Smoz. Kevin Owens won that match. Yes, he did. He won that. When Roman was handcuffed, he was not going to get up at 10. The referee.
Oh, you're thinking of a different Rumble.
I'm sorry.
That was a different Rumble.
Okay.
Yeah, you're thinking of a different Rumble.
You know what? Memory shut the fuck.
Yeah, it is.
No, anyway, that's another one.
2001, I think, was a good Rumble event. You had Dudley's versus Edge and Christian for the tag team titles. Chris Benoit and Chris Jericho in a ladder match for the Intercontinental title. Chyna versus Ivory, which was heavy.
When she did the broken neck gimmick?
Yeah. It was heavy on storyline. Bell to bell, it wasn't great for the women's title. And then you had Triple H and Kurt Angle for the WWF Championship with Trish Stratus in Kurt Angle's corner, combating Stephanie McMahon. in Triple H's corner. And then the main event was the Royal Rumble match when Stone Cold won his third Royal Rumble match.
Oh, fantastic match.
So I'd say 2000, 2001. Hell, I'll even go 2008 is a great Royal Rumble event.
Who was for the championship in 08?
There was 2 title matches. Randy Orton, Jeff Hardy, and then Edge and Rey Mysterio.
I don't remember. No opinion.
Which was Edge and Rey Mysterio was a lot of fun. Cena won that Rumble when he made the surprise in Madison Square Garden.
Yeah. I tell you what, Triple H's reaction was fucking fantastic.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
That was probably his best facial of all time.
Yeah. Yeah, that was. Yeah, I mean, nobody saw that coming.
Yeah.
That was a very well kept surprise.
As much as I shit on Cena Bomber, especially back in that time, I loved that.
Yeah,
I loved that spot.
Yeah, that crowd.
30 and everything. Oh, they did. That was perfection.
Yeah, that
was perfection.
That crowd popped pretty hard.
Yeah.
I once read an interview with Cena where they talked about his return at that Rumble and how it all came about. At the time, he was a single guy. Wasn't married, no kids. And they told him, all right, dude, you got, 9 months to come back, right? You go to rehab. So he said, fuck that. I'm going to do it. I'm going to come back. I'm going to try and come back for WrestleMania. I'm going to try and come back for Mania season. So he literally moved down to Birmingham, Alabama, where he had the surgery. They have a rehab center. Dr. James Andrews, a well-renowned orthopedic surgeon, has fucking worked on just about every professional athlete there is. He fixed Cena's pec. Cena moved down to Birmingham, lived in a hotel for months, and went to rehab 2 to 3 times a day, 5 to 6 days a week, sometimes 7.
Jesus Christ.
An animal, okay? Now, he had the capability to do that because he's getting paid, not to wrestle, and he makes a sizable living, and he's single with no children, so why not do that? And then that's what we got the return at Madison Square Garden in 2008, and he came back 3 months early. Here we go.
Oh, that hurts.
Back body drop.
Oh, I love that spot to death, but if I was a wrestler, I would never take it.
Well,
I'm not going to take the back the body drop.
I'd rather take the back body drop than what he's going to take coming up soon with the pedigree.
Oh, yeah, good point.
All right, so he's going to give him this one right here.
Yeah.
And it's going to be not in the heart of the thumbtacks. I'm sure Cactus probably felt a thumbtack or two. 1, 2, kick out as we get towards the end of this finish here. Hunter losing his mind right now. But, so we saw Cena return 3 months earlier than expected because he lived down there in Birmingham. Now, here we go. This is it right here. Finish. Boom. Pedigree.
That is cool. That's a great. That was
look at the referee's got to make the count with all of them. 1,
I know. He's one. Yeah,
2,
he's looking at those.
3. You see a couple of
Can
attacks.
you imagine? Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Excellent match. Like I said, this is the match that, in my opinion, made Hunter into a main.
It was on his forehead. Those tacks were on his forehead.
Yeah.
Oh, do you see that? That was 2 inches away from his eyeballs.
Thank you. Look at all the tacks in Hunter's knee pads and the bottom of his boots. Even the referee's pulling tacks out of his hand. Now, this was during a period of time where they didn't do this kind of stuff. This was like, ECW-esque.
Yeah.
In a way. So I didn't expect this. I expected a damn good street fight, but I didn't expect anything like this. Hunter's just bleeding like a sieve between his calf injury and the gash he has over his head there. But yeah, this is the match that made Hunter, and this was the match where I was like, because I knew that. So prior to this Royal Rumble event taking place, tickets went on sale for No Way Out in Hartford. Okay, as we watch the replay here, first pedigree, only for a 2 count. I bought tickets to No Way Out. So when I saw this match, I was like, they got to do a rematch at No Way Out. They have to do a rematch of some sorts. I just thought, the success of this match, people are going to want to see them wrestle again.
Yeah.
And when it was announced a few weeks later that Look at that. Selling the effects of this beatdown with the blood dripping as he's making his way. Oh, there's Cactus. He's not done. He wants some more.
You know more than me. Did they make an angle where for the Hartford event where it's like, you might have won the match, motherfucker, but you left. I walked out. You left via stretcher. They should have did a little bit of that.
No, they didn't do that. They didn't do that. This is so Cactus wanted a rematch because of Cactus wanted a rematch because of the damage he did to Hunter. But he wanted it under his terms, and that was Hell in the Cell. And Hunter said, "I'll agree to that match if you put your career on the line." And that's how they made the match.
Okay.
And once they made that match, I was like, I was 17 years old at the time. I was like, oh my God, Hell in the Cell. I'm going to be there in Hartford. Pay-per-view, my first ever pay-per-view I went to. I was like, wow, this is unreal. Like, I was just like, oh man, I couldn't wait. And back then, you didn't have social media. You didn't have streaming. You couldn't watch the shows unless you recorded them on tape, which I did at the time. But you had to wait the next week for the next step in the storyline. So when they booked the match, I was like, oh my God. Like I was crawling on my skin. I couldn't wait. Because number one, I was a big Cactus Jack guy. But two, I was going to be going to the next pay-per-view live. So
I'm so jealous.
When this match took place, when I watched this match that night, I ordered this pay-per-view with my friends. I was just like, I remember just saying to one of my friends, I was like, they have to do a rematch. There has to be another match between these two. And I could be wrong, but I could have even said, maybe they'll do a Hell in the Cell. As we're going to pause here at 1 hour 40 minutes and 50 seconds with Jim Ross and Jerry Lawler surveying the damage at ringside. What'd you think of this match, Dennis?
Oh, fantastic!
All right, where do you put? All right, let's do a little ranking here.
Yep.
Where do you put this amongst WWF WWE Championship matches?
This gets lost in the shuffle for sure. I can't put it top 10, top 20, no way.
Really?
I mean, I'll put in in a top 10, maybe Mick Foley involved,
definitely,
or maybe
the
Triple H, but no, bro, you're gonna
this gets a top, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Not to cut you off. This gets top 25 WWF WWE Championship matches of all time.
On the spot, I can't argue.
All right, let's Royal Rumble Mount Rushmore non-Rumble Championship matches. Give me your 4.
A non-Rumble championship matches.
Does this match make it?
Oh, good question.
All right, you mentioned one that we started off with.
Yeah.
Brett and Razor.
This is better than Brett Razor.
No, but I'm saying you're 4. Listen.
Yeah.
You're 4. You're Mount Rushmore. You're 4. Does this make your Mount Rushmore of Rumble Championship matches?
It has to. Yeah.
So what are your other 3 then?
Yeah, gotta go Punk. Just because the story was, I don't know. I'm trying to think.
Live by your convictions. If that's what you believe, that's what you believe.
No,
it's your opinion.
I'm going through all the Rolodexes. You got Sid, Shawn Michaels. I didn't like that.
No.
I'm not good at this. But
all right, so this one's on here.
Yeah, I'll put this one on here.
Is Brett and Razor on there?
No.
Really?
I'm just trying to think. I just know there's so many good. I'm just not thinking of them. I just know there's so many good.
Do you need me to list them off for you?
Yeah, please.
Okay. Slaughter Warrior from 91.
No.
Okay.
How about I love Yokozuna, Undertaker? No.
No, okay. No. How about Brett Diesel from 95?
No.
Okay. Brett Undertaker from 96?
No.
Sean Sid from 97?
No.
Sean Undertaker casket match from 98?
Absolutely not.
Rock Mankind from 99? I quit with the 13 chair shots.
We'll put a safety pin on that.
All right. Save the date.
Yeah.
Triple H Kurt Angle 2001.
Absolutely. I fucking love that match.
Okay. So
Love
sorry.
that
So
match.
that's what. So
Or at least what a safety pin on that.
safety pin.
Yeah,
All right.
safety
Okay.
pin.
2002, we saw Rock and Jericho for the WWF Undisputed Championship.
I won't lie.
You can't remember that?
Can't remember
Okay.
it.
Kurt Angle, Chris Benoit, 2003.
Pretty good.
Okay. 2004, Shawn Michaels, Triple H, Last Man Standing.
Great match.
Okay.
I like that match.
Okay.
That's what that Shawn Michaels wore the jeans, right?
No, that was SummerSlam.
Okay, never mind then. Maybe
Okay.
All right.
They had a bloodbath in that
I
match.
love
It was
that
Last Man
fucking
Standing.
jean. Yeah.
Okay, that was SummerSlam 2002. All right, 2005. What did we see for championship matches? They weren't really that great. You probably wouldn't remember them. JBL, Kurt Angle, and Big Show in a triple threat.
Yeah.
All right, 2006. Edge and Cena Bomber for the title.
I'd love that. We're in Toronto or in Boston.
Nope.
Was that one of those?
Nope.
All right.
Nope.
No.
That was Royal Rumble.
Okay.
What else was on that show? Kurt Angle, Mark Henry, and Undertaker made an appearance at the end, but that was nothing special. 2007, John Cena, Umaga.
Safety pin it.
Okay.
I love that match a lot.
Okay, 2008, Orton and Jeff Hardy, Edge and Rey Mysterio. You didn't really remember those.
No.
2009, Cena and JBL. Edge and Jeff Hardy. That was when Matt Hardy turned on Jeff.
I love that match. I really do.
Yeah?
Yeah,
Not Mount Rushmore, though.
No.
Okay. 2010 saw Undertaker and Rey Mysterio for the world title and Randy Orton and Sheamus for the WWE title. Nothing to write home about.
No.
2011 saw Edge and Dolph Ziggler for the world championship. And
I love that angle. That's
Vicky Guerrero.
Yeah, I
Yep.
like that angle.
Miz and Randy Orton.
Yeah,
Probably don't remember.
Yeah. I actually remember those matches. I just
2012, Punk and Dolph with Laurinaitis as the special referee.
I actually loved that fucking that fucking feud.
Okay.
That they just meshed really good in the ring. I like that feud.
13, Rockin' Punk.
Yeah. Safety pin it.
14, what was on there? 14 was, I think it was Cena and Orton, which wasn't a great match.
Right.
15, here's a good one. You might like this. Brock defending the title in a triple threat against John Cena and Seth Rollins. That was the night that Roman Reigns won the won the Royal Rumble and everybody booed him.
Oh, yeah, of course, yeah.
But Rollins stole the show in that match with Brock and Cena.
I remember now, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
16, the WWE title was on the line in the Royal Rumble match. Roman defended it against 29 other guys.
Yeah, I remember, yeah.
17, Cena and AJ Styles.
Oh,
When Cena tied Ric Flair's record at 16.
That might be my number one. That is a great match.
Okay, so
that's my favorite. No, I take that back. I was gonna say something stupid. That's my second favorite AJ versus Cena Bomber match.
Okay, the
That's
first one's SummerSlam, yeah.
SummerSlam. Come on.
Okay, all right. Trying to think what else.
And I already knew going in Cena was going to win too, and I still love that match.
So give me your 4.
All right,
Your Mount Rushmore. Your 4.
Cena Bomber, AJ's my favorite. Great feud, great ending to it, great blow off. Fucking love it. I go AJ, Cena Bomber. I go this. I go
2000 Triple H Cactus Jack.
I go just because it's just the star power and the storyline. That you could argue it's the most memorable one. It's Rock versus CM Punk, and lastly, it survived. I'm shocked, but it survived it. Razor Brett
Really?
survived it.
Okay. See, I'm going to go this match.
Yep.
I'm going to go Razor Brett. I'm going to go Cena Umaga from 2007, the Last Man Standing match. And I'm going to go 2003 Benoit and Kurt Angle. Those are my 4
those are good ones.
Mount Rushmore of non-Rumble championship matches at a Royal Rumble event.
Those are good ones.
Yeah. Now, as far as this year's Royal Rumble goes, Cody and Kevin Owens, I'm going with Cody. I think he's going to retain the title.
I think you're absolutely right, but I'm cheering for KO.
Yeah.
I'm worried that he's going to be one and done. I'm really worried that he's going to be a one and done guy.
I don't know.
They might throw him like an IC championship. But I don't think he's ever going to win the heavyweight championship. If this feud, if he doesn't win the championship within this feud, I don't think they're ever going to hit the bottom ever again.
Okay.
Hope I'm wrong, but that's what I think.
As far as the men go for the Royal Rumble, it's a toss-up. It's either Cena or Punk. Punk's never been in a main event at WrestleMania, okay? And he's never won a Royal Rumble. Cena, this is his farewell tour. It's his last opportunity to break Ric Flair's record and get 17. If I'm going to pick one, I'm leaning towards Punk. I think Punk's going to win it and face the champion of his choosing at WrestleMania. I think Cena will find a way to be in the championship match at WrestleMania, whether that's an elimination chamber. Yeah. But he's got the whole year. So Cena's not done at WrestleMania.
Okay, that's right.
So he's doing this retirement tour for the whole year.
WrestleMania is going to be...
It's going to be his last WrestleMania, but it's not going to be his last match ever. It's going to be the last time he's going to be competing at a WrestleMania. Just like this is going to be the last time he's competing in a Royal Rumble. So I think Cena will eventually get there, whether that's Cody or whether that's Gunther. I don't know.
Yeah.
As far as the women go, the women's a toss-up, man. You're gonna lose your mind over this.
Yeah.
But I'm going for the women. I think Io Sky is going to win the women's Royal Rumble match.
I love that, but I think she's legitimately hurt. But they say it's not the. They say that she could still wrestle. I'm going with the new girl, the African American girl. She's taller than
Jade.
Yeah, I'm going with Jade.
You know what?
I think
that's not a bad pick.
I think they're trying to do the Cena bomb ring.
Yeah. Now, before we end this, Royal Rumbles are always about big surprises.
Yeah.
Okay, in these Royal Rumble matches, who would you like to see? Name me one person you'd like to see as a surprise entrant for the men, and a surprise entrant for the women.
All right, surprise entry for the men. This is not the biggest star on the planet, and I actually kind of forgot what his fucking name is now. But he does that gimmick in TNA where it's like
Joe Henry.
I want Joe Henry. People go bananas for him. I want Joe Henry for the men.
Okay.
And for the girls, it will piss everyone and their mother off. But I just saw her in TNA again. Tessa Blanchard. I want Tessa Blanchard just to piss everyone off.
You know what? I like that.
And Joe Henry.
I think there's a likely possibility we'll get Joe Henry.
People will lose their minds.
Tessa Blanchard.
I like that kid a lot.
Tessa Blanchard, I don't know.
It's never going to happen.
I don't know. I mean, the working relationship WWE has with TNA right now, it's very...
Hogan, he used the N-word too, and guess what? He's promoting his beer. He's promoting beer.
Yeah, that is true. That is very true. If I'm going to pick a surprise for the men, I would like to see TNA World Champion Dolph Ziggler, Nick Nemeth, as the world champion, returning for an appearance.
Is he the champion for TNA?
Yeah.
That's a great pick.
Okay, as far as the women go, I'm going to go with your Tessa Blanchard.
Wouldn't that be cool, man?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with your Tessa Blanchard. I like that. I like that a lot. I think that's I think that would definitely shake some things up for sure. All right, Dennis, it's been a pleasure as always. Thank you for taking this nostalgic trip down memory lane, talking some Royal Rumble, talking some Triple H, Cactus Jack, title matches in Rumble history as we get ready for the upcoming Royal Rumble event on February the 1st. And I think we're due for a countdown, if you will, 3 count to put on this show, and we will see you all next time.